Kent Brockman once said, and I, for one, welcome our new insect overlords. I'd like to remind them as a trusted TV personality, I can be helpful in rounding up others that toil in their underground sugar caves. And now we're going to make our insect overlord bento. So it's time to make our grass. What I have here is a 2-quart pot. It's about half full with water. I'm going to add a couple of tablespoons of salt. I have my wide egg noodles, and to make them green, I have just some green food coloring here. I'm going to add about 6 drops, give or take. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I lost count. Something came out fast. That's okay. More is greener. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put that on the stove, bring that to a boil, and just cook our egg noodles just per the directions listed on the back. Okay, I have some frozen shrimp, and I have a little ramekin of a tablespoon of kosher salt and a teaspoon of Old Bay seasoning. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and get these pre-soaked. Thaw them out. So I just have another plastic bag. I'm going to put them in. Let's see, there's, I don't know, about 7 or 8 or 10. Let's get them all in here. Put the seasoning in. I'm going to fill this up with water and then just go ahead and let them soak in the sink for a few minutes till they get thawed. Okay, now we're going to make some critters to go along with our insect overlord. I just have a standard hot dog, all beef one. I cut this in half, and then I will go ahead and make this into an octopus. So I'll cut it here, I'll rotate it, cut it here. I kind of started it so everybody can see. And then do a quarter rotation. Careful, go all the way through. Don't mind the dogs barking. And we'll cut it through, and we'll have 8 legs, give or take, being the same size. Now these little ones are a little harder to make into octopus, so I'm probably going to just make some hectopus. And what that is 6-legged ones here. Well, that's what insects are. So I'm going to make 2 side slits, roll it on its side, and then cut all the way through. So you have 6 legs. See that? And we'll call that an insect. We'll do that again. It's got the flat end here, makes it easier. Again, about a third of the way through, right there. Do that again. Be careful with the knife, don't cut yourself. These are soft, so the knife will go through easy. There we are. And if you look, again, there's 6 legs, 3 and 3. So I'm just going ahead and make a couple more here. You can watch me again, like that, like that. See, it's easier to turn it on its side, cut through, and one more here. Put it on its side and cut through. So perfect. Now we have some insects, and we'll keep this piece intact as that'll be the main body for our bug. Okay, now that our water is boiling, we'll go ahead and just add our noodles. Put them in. You can see they got that nice green color to them. Hopefully they soak it all up. So they won't be as dark as the water. They'll be a little paler. Let's go ahead and give them a stir. And again, cook them to manufacturer's instructions. Okay, our noodles are done. They're properly cooked. Not super green, but they definitely picked up a little bit of the green hue. And that's okay. We're just looking for a little color, a little fun. So I'm going to go ahead and take these to the sink and go ahead and drain them. And then we'll go on to the next step. Okay, I washed my pot out and I added some more fresh water. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this up to a boil, and then we'll add our shrimp and our hot dogs with little sausages. Okay, I finished draining our noodles. I went ahead and put them in a little bowl, and as you can see, I added a little butter in there. And I'll just go ahead and let them rest, that way they don't get sticky. If you don't like to use butter or margarine, you can definitely use just some oil, some olive oil will be good, just to shake it up in there. And that way, it'll keep them from getting too sticky. You can see they do have a nice little green tint to them, and I'll go ahead and just cover them up. And we'll use them when we start packing up our bento. Now that our water's boiling, we can go ahead and add our shrimp and hot dogs. I just went ahead and put them all in a little strainer here that I washed the shrimp off. I kept the shells on for this. I want them to go ahead and cook. Actually, always pour away from you. Safety first so it doesn't splash. But always go ahead and cook your shrimp when you boil them in the shell if you can. It protects them from overcooking and just helps impart a little more shrimpy fun flavor. That also is the same for when you're doing some sauteing. But when you saute, you can do it real quick on high heat without the shells. That'll help. But again, the shells add a little bit of buffer and make sure you don't overcook your shrimp. So it's time to stir them. Let me go ahead and do that. Okay, you can see they're starting to turn a little pink on the edges, and the octopus and other insects are starting to separate. That's what we're looking for. That's what we want to see. This only just takes just a few minutes, so don't walk away from these. This is almost going to be cooked in real time. Just give the shrimp a few more minutes. Those are going to be good. Okay, our shrimp are done. I turned the heat off. Now I did pop out the hot dogs and sausages just a couple moments ago. They starting to really look like they didn't enjoy soaking in the heat as long as the shrimp. So I gave them probably about 4 minutes, and I gave the shrimp approximately 7 to 8 minutes total. So now that they're done, we're going to go ahead and drain them through a strainer, and then we'll peel them, let them cool down just a little bit, and then we'll get them ready to put into the bento. Okay, just another little tip to help out. Since we're not going to eat the shrimp tonight with our bento, that'll be for our lunch tomorrow. I went ahead, as you can see, put them in the strainer, put them in the pan, and then make sure we cool them down. Just go ahead and put a little bit of ice on top. Let them settle just a few minutes to cool down and stop cooking. If you overcook them, they get really mushy, and really, it's really not that tasty. So go ahead and let them cool off here. If you look real close, you can see a little bit of the steam and condensation building and coming off from the ice. We'll go ahead and let the shrimp just cool down for a couple more minutes, and then we'll peel them, and then we'll assemble our bento. Hey, let's assemble our bento. I have our green noodles. Oh, those look good too. Not as dark as I was hoping, but they're definitely just fine. Now, I laid out the rest of my items here on a tray. I don't have the room to show them all on camera, so I'm not, but one thing I did want to show is that I laid my shrimp out and I stacked them up together to make sure that they were very similar in size. So when I go ahead and stack them, I'll have them the same, so it'll be symmetrical. So let's go ahead and start with our main part of our insect. And then what I like to do is, again, these were stacked together, so I know they're the same size. They were the large ones. Then one's just a little smaller, and I can alternate them here. And then the smallest ones, as I overlap these slightly. There we are. Actually, this one's a little higher. Sometimes you have to prop them up with some noodles here. There we are. Very good. Now, just a sec to wipe my fingers off. I have the end of the shrimp here, as you can see from when I peeled them. And I like to put that right on top. It's kind of like a crown. Let you know it's the king bug. I have a little bit of mustard and just a chopstick. And then what I like to do is I like to decorate the hot dog here. It's a little mustard on. Give him a face. You could make him happy. I'm sure he's happy to be the king bug. Now other times I like to use a little bit of vegetables or even some black sesame seeds for the eyes, but yeah, for today we're going to go with that. And then we'll put up our other little insects around. Why I made another octopus instead of another bug, I don't know. I just like making octopus. And we'll put one more in here. If you wanted to get really energetic, you can decorate the faces. Okay, we will. So again, on these, we'll just put some eyes. Make them nice and scary here. Oops. There we are. And the big one here. And give him a mouth with a little less emotion, as he's not the king. So there we are. There's our bug overlord bento. Okay, and when we go ahead and eat our bento, it'll be tomorrow. I went ahead and put a little cocktail sauce in a container off to the side, and I'll make another one for the mustard, and I'll dunk our hot dogs and sausages in there, and then a cocktail sauce for the shrimp. I'm BentoBrocke, thank you. Remember to like and subscribe, and please leave a comment for your favorite bento, or if you've ever made a bug bento. I've made other bug bento, so I'll show you those in the description, the link to that. They were a little different. They weren't an Overlord, but it was a cute little butterfly, basically the same design out of the shrimp and the hot dog. So thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy.